Well, nematodes are good news and bad news. What I mean by that, nematodes can either be good or they can be bad. Let's talk about the bad first. Bad nematodes are what we call knotted nematodes. That's a little parasite. It gets attached to the root, turns around and makes the root have a knot like on it. So I'm standing here by plum trees, and the biggest problem that the University of Florida folks had way back in the 60s on the peaches and plums and nectarines was not the crossbreeding so much as it was getting a good rootstock. So today we have 2 or 3 different types of nematode resistant rootstock. Nemagard, FloraGuard, and some of the others that are more widely used other places, but those are the 2 main ones here in Florida. What they do is keep the roots are resistant to the nematodes, and it keeps them from forming. Now, the other thing is that occasionally you have some good nematodes that we read about, and they are used in organic farming to combat some soil-borne problems that a grower might have. And the good nematodes eat the bad insects and bad nematodes, so to speak. Not to get too complicated with it, but anyway, those are new scientific breakthroughs that we have. So when you hear the word nematode, remember, generally speaking, we're talking about the bad guys, and the bad guys knot up the roots and the tree dies. There's a lot of different ways to control them. One of the main things that we used to have that is not available on the open market anymore is Nemacare. And so we have to use some other things to rid ourselves of that particular pest. One of the best ways is to use rootstock that are resistant to the parasite to begin with, and then we don't have to worry about it. Figs are very susceptible to knotted nematodes, and we don't have a fig that's really totally resistant. The LSU purple is probably the most nematode resistant fig that we have. A lot of people don't even know about it. But one of the ways you can get around nematodes with figs is take a 5 or a 6 gallon or even a 10-gallon bucket, cut the bottom totally out of it, and sink it down in the ground where you have just maybe a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of the plastic top showing. Plant your fig tree inside that with some sterile plant mix. You know, some that you buy at a garden shop that's well drained, but it's sterile. You know that there's no pathogens of any kind in it. Now, why do you do that? Because nematodes, strangely enough, operate in the first 16, 18 inches of the top of the ground. So consequently, if you can get your fig roots down below those nematodes, you don't have a nematode problem and your tree doesn't die.
Rocas.